Aloha and welcome to Aloha Alive, the heartbeat of Hawaii. I'm extremely excited to have the guest that we have here today. I've known this lovely young lady since we were both at college together at University of Hawaii in Hilo, Hawaii. This is Kumu Mikala Pieper. Welcome, Kumu Mikala.
Aloha, mahalo. Thank you for having me.
She gets right to business. Aloha, mahalo. Thank you for having me. I'm Danny Kalekini.
Stop.
And over here we have a young warrior hama, also from the West Side. It is Jeremiah. And Jeremiah, I'm sorry, I didn't get your last name, sweetie.
Jeremiah Magallones.
Oh, now that's a name. It's kind of like an introductory chant right there. Jeremiah Magallones. Ea, ea. All right. Welcome, Jeremiah, to you as well. You're welcome. Thank you both for coming. They represent a wonderful Scrappahz Union 96792, which is the zip code for the West Side, Makaha and Waianae. They are part of a nonprofit known as Hanai Kaiaulu, which is caring for the community. And this was started by Kumu Pieper. She is also a teacher at Nānākuli High and Intermediate School and a Waianae native Hawaiian. Now, what I love about this is that we are malama ʻāina, which is to care for the land, but I would like them to tell you what exactly is going on. Who is Scrappahz Union? Sorry, I was trying to be all local and get my pigeon in right there. Scrappahz Union 96792, and what do you folks do?
Scrappahz Union is basically a program that's underneath our nonprofit organization, Hanai Kaiaulu. To tell you about it, the name is Scrappahz Union because we're trying to change the stereotypes of the Waianae 96792. Because
what stereotype are you speaking of?
I don't
Wherefore
know.
doth thou speaketh?
A little birdie told me that everybody thinks the West Side just wants to
Hamas,
fight and just wants to
Scrappahs, fighters.
violence, all of that. So we are changing the narrative by saying Scrappahz Union 96792. Yeah, we like scrap. Yeah, we still like scrap. We like scrap your cardboard and your food waste.
So you're taking the scraps and you're making something new. What exactly are you doing?
So we do food composting, but our main thing that we do is we divert cardboard out of the landfills, or we try to divert cardboard out of the
Thank you.
landfills. So we turn cardboard into clean and fresh mulch for our farmers.
Wow. How exactly do you do that? Because my one-time experience, I was living on Molokai at the time and I was trying to do the mulching thing. And then I had a severe smell and I had a lot of rat tribe joining my fale. So how about you tell me how you guys do that?
Yeah, so first step is we usually go out into the community, or the community comes to us and we collect their cardboard, their everyday household cardboard. We also go to like small convenience stores, like the kind of stores that cannot afford the cardboard trash bins.
Right.
So we go to their establishment and we collect their cardboard. Next step is we take off any plastic, we kiloi any rubbish, any opala on top of the cardboard, the
Staples,
staples,
right, the
all of that,
tape.
because we don't want that going back into the ʻāina.
Thank you.
So we kiloi all of that, and then we do a double check, make sure we didn't miss anything, and then we send it through the shredder and it comes out shredded.
Nice.
And then that's when we can use it on any of our products or our farmers.
Wow. Now that is and they come, is it once a month to the school if I wanted to come and donate some cardboard and all my extra Amazon boxes?
Yeah, so every first Saturday of every month. Yeah.
Wow. How did it get started, Jeremiah? Because I'm going to fast forward this videotape for all y'alls. In 2022, December, you folks won a $25,000 grant from American Savings Bank. Thank you so much to ASB and their Keiki Co business.
Contest, yeah.
And you guys got $25,000. What exactly did you do with that? And why was I not at that Maoli concert with you? No, I'm just kidding. They didn't use it at Maoli concert. What did you guys do with the $25,000?
So with the $25,000, we actually bought a cardboard shredder for every single school on our west side moku.
No! You blessed it forward.
Yes, from elementary schools up to high school. And we also got a shredder for the Hawaii Deaf and Blind school in town because
Oh, I love that
we didn't want to
school.
like exclude them either,
Yes.
because I don't know, we had like some kind of relationship with them. So we
Wow.
gave them a shredder, and along with the shredder, we actually do like a workshop, safety protocol, how we do the cardboard shredding and what can they do with their cardboard shredding.
So you do the training for the
Yeah.
schools. You really are, you not only gave them the shredder machine, which is, we'll talk about price, but you also train them, which is
Mm-hmm.
the true essence and heart of Hanai Kaya Ulu,
Yeah.
to care for your community. And you're not leaving out those who are hearing impaired or
Mm-hmm.
sight impaired as well. That's wonderful. Now, once you guys finish that processing and where it comes out shredded, what then do you do with this cardboard now that it's clean?
So, well, we started off with giving it to our local farmers. So, we get our cardboard from the community, we shred it, and then the local farmers contact us because they want to use it because it's very beneficial for their farms. There's
Yes.
multiple benefits with this shredded cardboard just for the farms in general.
Like, talk about one benefit. Is it like with the planting?
One benefit, like they use it for like sheep mulching, weed mat, like a natural weed mat.
Mhm.
If you put enough layers onto it, it'll like help block out the oxygen for the weeds. So instead of using that black plastic weed
Yes,
mat, and
which
it just
goes
stays
back
there.
into
Yeah.
our ʻāina and back
Mhm.
into our food. And then we wonder why all these microplastics are in our body.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said that out loud. I kind of have this truth Tourette's happen suddenly.
The
Just
truth
strikes
hurts.
like lightning. But it sets you free.
Mhm.
Thank you, Jeremiah. So they can use it for instead of that black sheet
Yeah.
mulching. That's way better for our bodies. I've also seen that you guys do planters with it. Ikalamai, I know I have. And see, this is what I'm talking about. I said sorry, ikalamai. This is the green planter that most of us go to, let's say, any kind of home store, and we're buying some plants, and then it comes in these green things. You guys replace those with what?
Shredded cardboard.
That's amazing because,
Yeah.
again, it's compostable and it can go back into the ʻāina, and it's got to be a lot better for the gut biodome of my plants, who I
Yeah.
talk to, by the
So
way.
one of our main objectives is to reduce the plastic usage. So we make products out of shredded cardboard to try to replace plastic usage. So one of the products that we do make out of shredded cardboard is the planter pot. We've also made oil change boxes.
Mhm.
We've made
Oil change
yes
boxes
for
for
your automobiles.
cars.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
genius.
we made oil change boxes for a more sustainable way of disposing of your oil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you.
And then we also made sleeping mats and pillowcases for our houses community.
Oh my gosh. Because, to be honest, they're often sleeping on
Yeah.
the cardboard
Mhm.
boxes, but this would be the softer, cleaner one. And it shows malama that somebody loves them.
Yeah, so we made them because we were thinking about like the rubbish that's left behind. You know, when they get swept off the beach, everything is just left there. All of their opala
Yep.
just stays there. And what does it end up going into? In the ocean.
Landfill.
So with our cardboard sleeping mats and pillowcases, if it goes into the ocean, it'll be fine. And then if it gets disposed, you can just put it by a tree, put it by a plant. It'll help nourish that plant.
And it becomes, again, the sheet mulching that
Mhm.
helps all of our native plants to grow. This is amazing to me, and I've been a lifetime member of the recycling club since before it was even a thing, even before we had recycling in the islands of Hawaii. But another thing that I often say when people say, "Oh, why are you picking up the extra napkins, or why are you using reduce, reuse, recycle?" And I say, because Hawaii is small islands and we only have so much land to fill, and therefore I don't want to fill the landfills, right? So if we well, number one, you're making sure we don't have plastic by replacing it. And number two, if we are using your planters and the recycled cardboard, it goes back into feeding the land.
Yeah.
And it teaches malama ʻāina. Now, this is a term that I've used a couple of times. May I ask you, Kumu, what does that mean, malama ʻāina?
Well, taking care of our ʻāina, and ʻāina is people. Yeah,
Mhm.
ʻāina is the ocean.
Yeah.
ʻāina is the land.
That's good.
But we wanted to change the name. You know, if you go back to Hanai, means the same thing, right? But Hanai has the word ha in it, and ha is the breath of life, right? So when you Hanai something like your community, it's a forever kind of thing. I feel like
Mm.
Malama Aina is, like it's just I mean, students will think of it, oh, it's just a 1 hour rubbish pickup, or it's a
Mhm,
2 hour, go clean the whatever you're cleaning,
mhm.
picking up trash on the beaches. But when you hanai something, you take that in, and it's yours to malama forever, to
It's
hanai.
family.
Yeah.
That's good.
Kaiolu is the name of community. It means community, but it also is the name of wind in Waianae. So
Oh.
it's a nice circular, and it's like the food system, it's the aloha system, it's the lei, it's a it's the recycle system. Like you give, you get, you go around, and
Mhm.
that's the kind of wind that's the Kaiaulu wind in Waianae.
So it's a place name as well.
Yeah.
And for those of you watching, perhaps from the continent or from around the world, part of Hawaii's names are sacred. They're very meaningful. There's usually a kauna or a
Mm-hmm.
deeper meaning to it. And then there are place names. And so you have different rain for different
Mm-hmm.
parts of the
Right.
island and different wind.
Winds. Yep.
So this one is for
The
the
wind.
Waianae side.
Yeah.
Eo
Ayo.
Oh,
Waianae, our
Waianae.
Waianae
Yes.
native. Now, I love, and I want to back up on one part that you said as well, which was malama aina, which normally many people here in Hawaii know as take care of the earth. Now, I'm going to tell you a bit of a funny story, but I'm thankful you brought it up, Kumu, which means teacher. Thank you for teaching us, because one of my sisters lives on Kauai, and there were some tourists there. I'm going to keep this very clean on how I describe this. I'm not stating anything about any people group, but so there were some tourists who were abusing their privileges. And my sister and I are not Hawaiian necessarily, though we grew up here all our lives. And my sister felt like she had to get out and regulate. And she told these tourists who were not, she said, "Eh, malama aina." And then she called me up and she was upset that she had gotten upset. And she goes, is that the right usage of what I said? And I said, no, my understanding, as you just said, Kumu, is it's not just the land because they were trashing the earth, but I said, it's also treating the people who are waiting for that spot, which was her, right? Like, don't abuse your time here. Now, it also brings to mind, and I saw this in an article that was written about you folks. Thank you both. And all of the other students who are represented here who may not be here physically. Thank you to all of you for your hard work. You were also written up not just in the Ko'olina publication, but you also recently were in the Hawaiian Airlines magazine. Glacé, bougie, slay. But it was talking about in the Ko'olina publication that kuleana is another word. And we've covered that just a little bit with Pastor Alan Cardenas, who's a good family member of the Nana Kuli High School and the Valley. But it said in the Ko'olina publication, and I wanted to bring this up to you and ask you both, it says, kuleana, I normally thought of it as that's my responsibility, but it had an interesting word. It says it's a reciprocal responsibility. What does that mean?
That is when I teach on Koleana, it is actually an expectation of our kupuna. Yeah. So it's expected.
Wow.
It's expected for you to do Koleana. It's expected for you to Hanai Kaiaulu. It's an expectation. Where did we lose that? Mana'o, or that life,
Mm.
that's our native life ways, is Koleana, is reciprocal, right? That is part of the Ahupua'a system. And we talk about things are all in systems, right? But and if you go back, like the Ahupua'a system cannot even work without the Ohana system. So you
Mm.
need the Ohana system first.
Yes.
And it starts in the Ohana, right?
Wow.
Whatever your Ohana is, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, uncle, auntie,
Mm-hmm.
the Ohana system,
Mm-hmm.
the home has to work first in order for the macro to work, right? So
Yes.
that's the micro is the Ohana, the Oha, right?
So much richness to what you're saying because it's on so many levels. Yes. You're talking about ahupua'a, which here in the islands, that means it's like a slice of pie. It goes from the top of the mountain down to the ocean. And that whole ahupua'a has to work together. So you would have taro farmers or uala sweet potato farmers working with the fishermen who are down in the ocean, who are also malama, all of the other people who are in the village. And it comes into an ohana, as you said. I was just speaking with the Pakele Ohana, right? It's another family that knows you and loves you both, Kumu and Jeremiah. And she's from Waimanalo, now living Kapolei, which is bougie West Side.
Yeah,
Okay, you
that's not
know.
West Side. That's not West Side, sis.
No, I'm always instructing them. I'm like, Kapolei, you guys is bougie. They go, no, girl, we're West Side. I go, no, you not. You have a CPK in a mall. That means you're bougie. And they go, no, girl, we have farms. I go, it's a Foodland Farms. You can't get more bougie than a Foodland Farms. Okay. Anyway, back to our part. Now, but you're talking about Ohana and the Pakele Ohana. Kaulana Pakele was one of our great singers who sang
And our
with Manao
classmate.
Company
Yeah,
and our
and our
your
classmate.
classmate, you're younger. But he, his last post before he died of a sudden heart attack was he was doing as you just said. He was instructing people to pick up the trash and malama ʻāina, stop trashing this land. This is our home. And he took it personally. Pastor Allen said, Kuleana is extreme ownership. We do take it personally. And even though Kaulana was known for being Mr. Aloha, always partying, always
Yeah.
smiling, he still was laying down the law, because it's interesting to me that you just brought that up, Kumu, that it was from our ancestors or our predecessors who had an expectation.
Yes.
Where did we lose it? And when we challenge the youth to rise up, that's when we get Hama warriors like Jeremiah.
Amen. We lost it at, there's so many changes in the Department of Education, and there's standardized testing that is more prevalent than Aloha.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we go back and look at culture through Olelo no Eao, right? He ali'i ka ʻāina, he kaua, ke kanaka. And people, they understood that, right? The land is chief and we are merely its servants. So we take care of the ʻāina as our grandma, as our
Yes.
grandpa, right? As our ancestor, as and then even further deeper, papahana moku and wakea. And if you look at those those concepts in life, or they're people, and there are life ways.
They're living and breathing.
Yes.
The earth is a living, breathing thing.
Yeah.
And once we lose sight of that, as you're bringing up so well, thank you, Kumu. Once we lose sight of our connection to the earth and we don't take care of her, she cannot take care of
Haole.
us,
Yeah.
which is what we're beginning to see.
Yes.
How did you start doing the Hanai Kaiaulu, Kumu?
Hanai Kaiaulu started in 2020. Like a lot of people, we were blessed with the time for Ohana. Yeah, beaches was closed, parks were closed. And what do you do? And I saw my worms. They were trying to come out of the bucket.
They were trying to break out like
Yeah.
the rest of us,
And I
girl.
was like,
We're
where
all
are
on
you guys
lockdown.
going? Where I got food in there, I got newspaper in there. Like, where are you guys going? What's happening, right? And then we had time. It was the time, right?
Yeah.
That got me going on social media, and then your algorithm starts changing, and all these composting videos popped up, and then I found out that they were hot.
Yes.
So they were coming out because they were
It's
hot.
getting hot in
Yeah.
here. I'm getting out my
So
bucket.
I'm like, it's not as easy as people think it is. And really,
it's hard to
it's hard.
mulch.
Yeah, it's hard to compost, and specific items, specific foods, this, you can't, that, you
So
can't.
how do you guys do that? That's
But
where I was leading
we
in.
learned about bokashi composting.
Thank you.
There you go. So
I
we
didn't
learned,
know about it till I read your article. Tell us.
yeah, we learned about bokashi composting. So bokashi means to ferment, and that came from Japan. So when I saw these new, all my reels on social media that started changing my algorithm,
Yes.
I said, wow, this is easy. Like versus the old school composting, it's, aerobic, you have to add water, turn every day, you have
Right.
to do all of that. Anaerobic is bokashi composting. You don't turn nothing, you don't add water in it, like you just set it and forget it. And when I was like, set it and forget it, that's something my students can do for sure. For sure, right? And then I got so interested, and I found North Shore Community Compost Movement. I
Wow.
went out there and I said, hey, I am a teacher. I don't have school right now, but I got like 5 amazing kids, and I started making like my own school during COVID shutdown, like
Yeah.
5 students that their parents allowed me to take them with me and learn. And I was just kind of having my own classes. While I was learning, they were learning. So we went and we learned everything about bokashi. We learned how to make it. We learned how it's processed, how you set up a bin. And then from there, when you're not doing it, right, it's out of sight, out of mind. And you
Right.
almost, automatically think that, oh, the ag teacher is doing it. Somebody else is doing it at my school because that's not what I teach.
Yeah.
I wasn't teaching um
Sustainability.
agriculture,
Right.
like I teach Hawaiian language and culture, but was really I said, our ag teacher probably is doing it. Guarantee. No,
Well,
nobody's doing it.
and if I might interject, Kumu, I was teaching at the same high school that
Yeah.
you are still teaching at, and I got promoted elsewhere through Choose Aloha program, but I was at Nanakuli High School in intermediate. It shocked me
Hmm.
to see how much food
Yeah.
most of us were throwing away. I
Yes.
won't say it was just the kids because it was everybody. I guess public school lunch is not that tasty at the
Mm-mm.
time, and this was pre 2020. And I would say it all the time. What can we do with this extra food? But there's a big difference from somebody who talks all the time and somebody who walks it out. Because you started, as I was reading, in the same place going, what do we do with all this extra
Yeah.
food?
Yeah. It was like that is nutrient rich soil that can be created for our farmers. Like it is such a waste.
And you did it
To
though.
me, it's such a waste. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of buckets. I applied for some small grants and I taught the students how to make bokashi, made bokashi in class, went over the Hawaiian terms, and had a sign up sheet. And whoever signed up, hey, you get community service hours. That's part of their personal transition plan, the PTP for high school diploma.
Which is required.
It's required, but I must say the
Is it
community
executed?
service is not mandatory. It's not mandatory. So we're looking at some legislation change or even within our school to make community service mandatory. That's important to be of service to somebody
Absolutely,
or the
yes.
ʻāina, like you have to be of service. That's where you learn life. That's
And
where you learn
especially at
aloha.
a young age, right?
Mhm.
From usually people in high school, 13 through 18 years old, 14, 18. And as you said, it's an expectation of
Mhm.
our kupuna down to our keiki, but we're not challenging them. And then we see a lot of the footlessness would be the proper Hawaiian word. Oh, I'm sorry, pidgin word, where you're just kind of wasting away with
Yeah.
it. What I love when I come to campus now or when I see posting on social media is the students are pushing these little right? Well, they're plastic, but maybe we'll make them out of cardboard from now on. Little trolleys, and you guys are
Carts. Mhm.
collecting
They
the
Yep,
buckets
I did a sign up sheet and they started collecting the food waste at the cafeteria. And it was
every
hard
day.
every day. It was hard in the beginning. I mean, sometimes the schedule changed or students sign up and then they forgot that it was their day, or I was on a field trip and I wasn't able to, call the classroom to look for the student, or they just forget to.
Sure,
So it wasn't 100%, but
it's
we did the
something.
best that we could do. We took the data, and data is important. So for like the first 3 years, we weighed all the buckets so that way we can say, like, you really can't go to legislation trying to walk with your chest out trying to make change with no data.
Empirical
You need the
evidence.
data, right? So
Hmm.
they weighed all the buckets. We made a composting area in our school mala. We partnered with our intermediate folks in Ho'opulapula Academy, and we were doing it. We were doing it. The kids signed
Wow.
up.
And
And
you
then
tracked for 3 years
yeah,
so that we can initiate some of this legislation.
yes,
And you have powerful legislators on your side, like
yep,
Senator Samantha DeCourt, who's been
yep.
a guest of ours here on Aloha Alive. So you guys were collecting all the buckets. You got all the
Yes,
data for
data
3
is
years.
important. Collected the data, turning this food waste into soil in like
Wow.
6 to 8 weeks. That's how long it takes. And you don't have to
6 to
6 to
8 weeks,
8
that's all.
weeks. You don't have to turn it. You don't have to add water to
It's
it.
not
So it
stinky.
made zero sense for me that schools weren't doing it. You're teaching
Wow.
agriculture. We have students. We have
Yes.
over 1,000 plate lunches. Like, what are we doing with it?
Right.
Why are we putting it into the landfill? One, you talk about
It's
environmental
horrific.
injustices
Right.
of the West Side, right? That's legacy pollution.
Yep.
Legacy pollution on our side. And then at first, like, I was mad,
Yeah.
I got so mad at,
Righteously
like,
so.
why
Why is
it
no
was
one
so
doing
confused, like,
anything?
why aren't we doing it? Right? And okay, if you're not gonna do it, then we're gonna do it.
That's
We're gonna do
amazing,
it. I'm gonna
Kumu.
get the students to do it and we'll do it.
And she started with, I think, 10 plumeria pots outside of our
Yeah.
classrooms right there in the E building, right? That everybody would overwater.
It's so difficult though. In the DOE, the Department of Education, I'm sorry, but it is like you can't put plants that has thorns, sap, or fruits.
Because it endangers the children.
Yeah, I'm like, well,
My
why are you going to
gosh.
go over there and
As if they
put
don't have
like
brains to plug in.
right.
So
So
this is so powerful, Kumu. Thank you that you got righteously upset and you took Kuleana and said, it's not going to be the ag teacher, it's not going to be DOE, it's me and it's us. Now, I'm going to ask you, Jeremiah, you've been a part of this program for how long?
I've been a part of this program going on 3 to 4 years. I started my freshman year, and I'm starting my senior year this year.
Congratulations.
you.
Oh my kai,
Yeah.
senior Hama.
Yeah.
So you've been doing it for this many years. You've been almost one of Kumu's right-hand guys, right? And how does it feel to be part of this program? I mean, honest question, I'm not leading you. How do you feel when you're trucking those buckets of slop and doing all these recycling things with the cardboard?
I feel like I'm doing what I need to do
Wow.
as a resident of Hawaii, as a resident of Nanakuli, and as a resident of this ʻāina, that I need to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
There's a lot of mo'olelo, but there's a lot of things that saying, like, one of the things she taught me was ho'i, was returning ʻāina back to ʻāina.
Wow.
So that's why we did like the food composting. That's why we do the cardboard, because cardboard is ʻāina.
Yeah.
So we are returning ʻāina back to ʻāina.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Jeremiah, I have to say, you are a striking superhero for our land. And I must be getting old, because now I'm kupuna status where somebody this young is speaking and I just want to burst out crying because he's speaking goodness and truth. And it gives us faith for this upcoming generation. I know that there are many things responsibilities that's probably on your shoulders, Jeremiah, but I just want to tell you that I've seen you in a few instances. One of them, we were out doing a community concert with the Samoan brothers, the Katinas, and it was out at the Nanakuli Beach. And you were also there helping to sign wave for Senator Samantha DeCourt. And just watching you and some of your classmates, some of the other young ladies and the young men coming and standing in your own mana, in your own power and strength, standing solidly on your own 2 feet. And one more thing, and I'm going to take you down a road that's not necessarily on our question list, but I said this to another guest, Lisa Pakele, whom you know and love. There's been trauma. When I look at you, Jeremiah, I don't know you much at all. I probably have seen the after picture, not the before. But may I ask you a question? Did you go through childhood trauma?
Honestly, yes, I did.
Wow.
Because the way I grew up, I wasn't really as fortunate as other kids. We didn't have much financial help. A lot of my family was leaving, and like in different ways. One of the ways is my father. My father passed away when I was about 11, and that was right before my high school life. But then I just took life as what life gave me, as what God gave me, and I saw that as a plan. And then yeah, so basically I just took whatever life was giving me, and I used it to pick myself up more. I used it to join more organizations. I took it to take all my opportunities that was given to me and was offered. So I use my problems as a stepping stone for my life, because I had a lot of ups and downs. Not to get into too much detail, but
Sure.
throughout my lifeline.
Thank you for that trust to even share what you just did, that
Yeah.
courage. Thank you. I believe that trust is a foundation of a relationship. And then when you speak truth and trust, and we are transparent, we are ohana, right? And so the reason why I asked you is I know you also have, I think, a younger sister, right? We all met at the prayer breakfast this past year. But Jeremiah, when I think people can take it way too easy to look at a young man like you who doesn't have his face buried down into your digital device, that you're articulate, you're a man of vision, and we think, well, there's this great kid over at Nanakuli High School. Look, they're going to turn out just fine. But in what you just shared, there was a moment when you said your dad passed away when you were 11 years old, and it really was life handed you things and you had to take it and make a choice. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
And you had to choose Aloha choose community or hanai kaya ulu. And who are some of the people who helped you walk that through? Last question.
Um, some of the main people was my grandfather, my mom, because they always was there for me no matter what. No matter what life throws at me, they was there.
Yeah.
But like as I started to start my high school life, I didn't have my dad. I was really in like a bad state. Let me tell you, I was a bad kid. From intermediate to my freshman year, I was kolohe. I was one of them on my digital, as you said. I was one of them out at night, doing what nowadays kids do. But then I started my high school life, and then I finally met Kumu Pieper,
Yeah.
and then she invited me um to one of the programs or projects that she was doing, and that's a prime example of what I said earlier about like you take whatever God's plan is, and she was one of God's plan for me.
Wow. Thank you for saying that. And I will say that one of the things that Kumu and I learn is that, there's a lot of hardship for a lot of kids. It doesn't matter if you're from the west side or from the east side anymore, it's everyone. But one thing that helps our kids to find their footing and to stand on their own 2 feet is an MAMA, which does spell mama, meaningful adult, meaningful activity. And you just said that meaningful adult, meaningful activity was Kumu Pieper at the Hanai Kaya Ulu. And so this isn't just some philosophy or some business statement or the mission. This is real life for you, because did I hear that you're crashing out at Kumu Pieper's house? Like, you have grandpa and your mom.
Yeah.
God bless them for being there for you, for being the steady straight line. But you also have a place to go and find out who the man that Jeremiah is, a place to grow, right?
Yeah.
And that's an extra space where people can be. Thank you for being super honest.
That's how I felt when I first moved here, because I'm not originally from Nanakuli. I am from Mililani. So before I moved to Nanakuli, I was very like a silent kid, quiet kid. Didn't really want to interact with anything. But then when I moved to Nanakuli, I really felt like myself, like I found who I was supposed to be.
Yes.
Because then I made more friends, I had more opportunities, I met a lot of good people.
Yeah.
I just knew I belonged here.
That's
And
good.
that's why I'm so encouraged to take care of this land
Wow.
by Hanai Kaiaulu. And the way I think of it is me as a youth in Nanakuli, I think that I'm setting an example for all the youth or the opio that are having a struggle, that
Yes.
have the same struggle as me or even harder.
Yes.
Because what we do a lot, our main thing that we do is culture connection. That's our main thing that we try to focus on, because we need to get back to our way, the Native Hawaiian way. So what we really think of it is, or my favorite saying is, culture connection is addiction prevention, and culture connection is suicide prevention.
Whoa, say it again, sweetie. That was so good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Culture connection is addiction prevention, and culture connection is suicidal prevention. Because when you have your hands in the ʻāina, you don't have time to be thinking about any violence or anything bad to happen, or you don't have time to be going out and choosing violence. So that's why it really like sinks into me, because if I wasn't be doing this, I would have been out doing bad stuff. I would
Wow.
have been still outside 3 o'clock in the morning, just doing what I want to do, letting my life flow away.
Spinning your wheels in stuff that's not really productive. When I hear you say that, Jeremiah, I hear the 3 P's coming up for me, which is a sense of place, right? You have also a purpose, and then you find your personhood. You came from Mililani. I'm sure there's goodness in Mililani. I know a lot of wonderful things there. But the wonderful thing that I connected on the west side is I too, and that's not my one hanau, it's my one hanai. I wasn't born there, but I hanai'd myself in. I'm half Polynesian from South Pacific, and you feed one of us once, we're like stray cats. We will be back every day with our whole tribe behind. This my village. Yep, we all coming to eat, right? So I came out to the west side and I hanai'd myself in, because people like Kumu Pieper, whom I knew from when I was still in my 20s, they absolutely love you. I said, and this goes back to what you were saying about West Side and the stereotype that they're all scrappers, they're all violent. We always hear about the shootings, the stabbings, this and that. But here's the thing. I always tell my family from Nanakuli, you guys are fierce, but you love fierce, right? So once I'm in, and once I came in and there were a number of suicides in the valley, and I got a call from Alan Cardenas, who is still a kahu there, a pastor. And he said, this gonna stop. Not on my watch and not in his house. And so I came in to teach in 2017. And that's where I fell in love with Westside. And there was my old college buddy in the classroom right next door. Her and her little pots of plumeria trees. And that's what God brought to me. And he works all things together for good. So congratulations. But it gives us purpose and a sense of place and personhood. I was thinking of a question, but I'm going to stick with what's on my docket here. Is there a way to duplicate Hanai Kaiaʻulu? And it sounds like you've started because you bought a number of machines for other schools. Everybody on the West Side's covered. But I heard a rumor or trumer. Is it a rumor or false, or is it a trumer, truth, that it started on the Big Island too?
It did. We did start a little cohort there on the Big Island at Waiakea High School. And
Wrong high school, but that's
wrong
totally
high school.
fine.
Well, that was the first
I'm
one.
the arch rivals,
That's the first
Hilo
one.
High. Yes, she went for the
Hilo
other
Highs
warriors.
has been inquiring about it.
Thank
They're
you.
inquiring. And we're looking to get a shredder over on Kona side.
Wow.
Yeah. So, networking over the years, you find the right organizations that love what you do. And a lot of my projects are based on community service. And I connected that to the Rotary clubs. So, in the back, I'm like, the Rotary Club. Okay,
Right?
they work on service, they got funding, and they want to help. They want to
awesome.
help. So we're gonna get a shredder out there to Kona.
I love it. And
And
we
Waina.
also have the principal from Waianae originally, which is
Yeah,
Amy
yeah, Amy.
Akeo.
Yep.
She's at Kona Waina High
Mhm.
School. So that's
The
another
ag teacher
connect.
actually, yeah. So there was like, and then I've been to a couple workshops teaching teachers as well, and they want to adopt the program, the Sustainable Saturday program. So that's the bringing the cardboard in, right? We shred
Huge.
it, turn it into mulch for farmers, but you also go home with a CSA box, yeah, community supported ag.
Talk about the
So
box,
that's
please.
how we feed that's how we hanai our kaiaʻulu. We take care of our community. So it is win-win all over, right? You're diverting that cardboard, we're shredding it, giving it to the farmers. The farmers are giving us fresh produce. We got eggs. We got shakamoa, wailua eggs.
Shakamoa, I love
Shakamoa,
you.
we
That's
love
Ohana
them.
right there. And then other
Yes.
farmers are
And
giving you
they've
other
been 3
produce.
years. 3 years in, and they're like,
Wait,
whatever you need.
through Eggmageddon, when eggs were like a
Oh, yeah.
dollar, an arm and
Yeah.
a leg, and a
They still
firstborn child
sponsored.
each.
They still sponsored.
Girl, I called them. They're
Yes.
like, there's a long list on. But here's
No.
Hanai Kaiaʻulu. So you
Yeah.
have farmers and, of course, the eggs.
Yeah, a
We're
couple
going into this
eggs.
box.
There's like, we have a ulu farmer, melon,
So
ulu,
healthy.
mango, whatever the farmer, that's what a CSA is
season.
too. Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
whatever's happening that week. And we just put that in a box and we give that to the community. So now you're going home with fresh produce, healthy produce,
Wow.
and students go away with 4 hours of community service. And really not
Wow.
really, oh, we didn't wipe the bleachers down. Oh, we was painting or picking up, I don't know, gum or something. It's like, it's
Which
really
is also valuable, but this
Yes.
is
It's really
Super Bowl level
meaningful. It's really
MVP.
meaningful. Like they are literally like walking to the car. Hi, auntie, unloading her
Connection.
things.
Relationship.
Coming,
That is
giving.
culture connection.
Wow.
See, I didn't even
You're
need to bring
you're not-
Bree in this podcast. I told you
You're not
just have him.
you're not just giving them the box and collecting. You're actually having a conversation with them while they're waiting and stuff. So you're actually exchanging ha. That's a culture connection right there. When
Wow.
you're communicating and talking face to face,
Yes.
that's expressing ha.
Yep.
You're not on the phone or texting, oh, come pick up your CSA box. You're
Right.
actually
Wow.
having a conversation.
And if you notice right now, those of you who are watching, tuning in, and getting excited about this, this is not the normal, typical teenager that we often run into at the mall, at the grocery store, who again is heads down in a device or distracted on social media of some sort. But this is, like you said, Jeremiah, exchanging ha and building relationship. I actually got a call a few weeks ago from a key leader in our community who said, my grandson goes to a certain private school and I need you to be a speech teacher. I said, no problem. I can come in. You know, that's been my trade. And she goes, no, girl. He doesn't need like speech help, like persuasive speech, informative. He needs to learn how to have a conversation. And I said, but he's at the highest, the princess paid for his education, private school. She goes, yeah, they don't know how to have a conversation. And you are. That's why you're sitting at this microphone. Thank you, Jeremiah. It can happen. There's hope. And it's culture connection, culture connection. Okay, let me go to our next question. Thank you so much, Hanai Kaya Ulu. And you folks are on Instagram, right? That's
Yes.
where we can look all of
Yeah.
this up.
We got a
Instagram.
website too. You can check us on a website, hanaikayaulu.org.
Oh, hey. Who's
Hey.
Kapolei today? Bouger. Look at you. She's
Hey.
slaying it. They have a website, which is what?
hanaikayaulu.org.
Okay, so it is a nonprofit.org,
Yes.
not .com. All right, am I missing anything that you would like to share from your heart with the Ohana today? We'll bring this in for a landing. I'm going to talk a little bit more culture, but more on Aloha. But anything you want else? The last question, I'm going to ask Kumu, and then we'll come back to you also, Jeremiah. Thank you also for being here. It took a lot of courage, and I highly admire that. Kumu, please define. We always ask at the end of Aloha Alive, what is Aloha? And you teach not only the Olelo Hawaii, which is the language of our land, but also culture. Can you tell us what is Aloha?
Aloha is kuleana. Yeah. Aloha is understanding the words, the wise words of our kupuna and our ancestors from Olelo no Eao. Like we don't have to recreate the circle, right? One of our ali'i liho liho, he said, and I still have to memorize the Hawaiian one, but the English part of the Olelo no Eao said, how can you not be successful if you don't follow the footsteps of our kupuna?
Whoa, that's
Liho liho
good.
said that, so that's all we have to do. If you
Yes.
think about what our ali'i did, what our ancestors did, just follow what they did. Work on that ohana system.
That's good.
So for the greater good, the ahupua'a system, right? We have to work on that. And really, I could care less about standardized tests. I really can, but really, what is the profile of a graduate?
Come on.
Is this A, B, and C what you want it to be, like grades and scores and all of that? Or you want them to have compassion?
Right.
You want them to have aloha?
Yeah.
Part of our purpose here in life is to really find your gift, right? You got to find your gift first, right? And then when you find your gift, the purpose of life is to give it away.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're helping them find their gifts, and all the activities that I do, find your gift, find your passion, and when you do, then you give it away.
Wow.
Then you give it away. I got a quick a story, and this is probably one of my favorites. One of the students, he came up to me and he said, Kumu, I want to do a Christmas give back, a haircut give back for Christmas. And I said, okay. He said, I need help from the Scrappahz Union because I can't do this by myself. I said, okay, what are you thinking? And he said, I want to cut hair. I want to cut the hair for the homeless or houseless residents. I said, okay, where? Across the bakery, across Farrington Highway by the bakery by Hakeem Road. I said, okay, why over there? There's plenty other encampments. He said, because my mom lives there. Yeah, my mom lives there. And, that is what we want students to find is their gift. He gonna be the best hair cutter. What is this? Faded? How you shave? Whatever they get, all kind barber. See, whatever it is, and when you want to give that away, that's winning. That's winning. And just at 17, he's winning. And that's what I expect, and that's what I want to come out of my classroom. And really, I want that to come out of my school. But we live in a state where that's the system again that we got to work on is standardized tests. But really having aloha, having alo is your face and ha is the breath of life, and really to be in the presence of ha, right? The energy that is transferred between me and you right now is way more powerful than Zoom, right? Than Zoom, than
Absolutely.
where everybody got all, all ha'alulu, like we got all screwed up during COVID, right? We need to come back, open up the classrooms, open up the Zooms, open up
Thank
everything,
you.
and be in the presence of Ha,
Yep.
because aloha um is where we're gonna find compassion for each other and the
Mhm.
ʻāina, and just be in righteousness and be in pono. Yeah.
Culture connection
Yeah.
versus isolation.
Yeah.
It's good. Um, who is your aloha hero? I'm going to ask both of you and we'll land on this. Who is the person who lives pure aloha, past or present? And how did they do that in your life? Who is somebody you know as, like, when you just look at them, they're the embodiment of aloha? Jeremiah.
At the top of my head, I would say Kumu Pieper because she's just straight on. She walks aloha. The way she carries herself, no matter what kind of predicament that she's in, no matter position that she's always walking with her head high. She's always uplifting everybody around her, no matter what is going on. She is the person to punch through anything that is thrown at her. She is a Hawaiian warrior.
Yeah. She's a hamahine. Thank you for that. Kumu Piper, same question. Who
I think
is
it's
your
the
aloha
youth.
hero?
I'm gonna get right in there because I'm looking at you tearing up, girl. We're not doing that now. We're not doing that. We're the youth of the West Side. They keep me coming back to school every day.
Yeah.
They're my heroes. And that's the kuleana. That's a reciprocal, right? That's a
Yeah.
reciprocal energy too. What I give them, I get back,
Wow.
right? What you shed out to them, they're gonna shed back to you.
Big time.
So when you give aloha, you get aloha, right?
Yep.
And it's the youth. My core group, like I know Jeremiah shared that his dad passed, but my core group of there's like 5 kids. Each of them already lost one or two
Parents?
parents. Just my core group. One or two. Those are my heroes. I'm 52 years old. I can never imagine going through life without my parents. And how are they coming to school every day? How are they coming to these workshops and events and doing what I expect them to do without the celebration or the success group around them, which would be your parents,
Yeah.
right? Like I know when I come home or I'm on the news, my parents would come over and walk over and say, "Give me a hug, kid." My dad is like 70. And they're like, "We're so proud of you. We saw you on the news." And how can they go without that? Their support system. Yeah.
Wow.
So that truly is. And that's just these 5, 6 kids in my
Who's in
little
your core
Hanai.
leadership
Yeah.
group?
Yes. Absolutely. How many other kids on the West, right?
That is a
How many
huge
other
warrior
kids
spirit.
are going through what they're going through? So those are my heroes, the kids, the students, the youth.
And I want to interject something that supports exactly what you're saying. And that was part of why Choose Aloha chose Nanakuli High School first. Not just because of Alan Cardenas and the call, but also because when I looked at the statistics for our islands, I saw that the average family income in about 2016, 2017, when I started teaching there, was $16,000 for a family of 4.
Yeah.
And then you look at all the other markers, which CDC looked at childhood trauma, and there's 10 key traumas. And Nanakuli had rocked probably 8 or 10 out of the 10. I would test them every year that I was there for the 3-4 years and give them the 10 question questionnaire of what are your childhood, right? So there's different types of abuse, different types of
Mhm.
neglect. Then there's the household dysfunction like divorce, loss of a parent, someone's in prison. And once again, Nanakuli It was #1 in the areas we should be last on.
Right. And we're not, when I teach or I talk or I speak, we're not going to focus on generational trauma, right? Everybody has generational trauma. No, but we also have generational ike. We also
Thank
have
you.
generational strength.
Come on.
We have that as well. So get in there.
Yes.
Get in there.
So
Because
pick
you
which
have
one.
that strength as well. And you have that knowledge. You have generational ike to get up and rise above and, get up. Get up.
And it wasn't fancy. You used a bucket.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
use a piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You use food that was thrown away.
Right.
These are all trash items or cheap items. You didn't need something fancy. Yes, now we have the machines. Thank you for that, Kumu, that you said it was your youth. And of course, your youth said, no, it's Kumu. I love that it is the reciprocal responsibility. And this is a perfect picture and snapshot of what Kumu was talking about with Hanai Kaya Ulu. So rich. I want to thank you. And there are so many other people's life stories that has been woven into this tapestry. It is like the tapa cloth that is of our people in Polynesia. The cloth that you see here on this planter. I know one day I'm going to score a planter from my Hanai Kaya Ulu Ohana, but right now I use a little piece of tapa cloth. And part of that is the many people that gets wili or woven into a tapestry. We want to dedicate this show to a very special human being who is here in spirit, and that is Yosua Stevens Ohana. We love you, and we thank God for the gift that we had for the short time that we had, Sua. And so thank you, family, for being here with us on Aloha Alive, the heartbeat of Hawaii. We hope that you take away many things that it means to be and to live aloha. Aloha.
Aloha.